Hello everybody, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck from Kellner-Zinck Hypnosis here to talk about some ways that hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming, otherwise known as NLP, can improve your life. Because generally speaking, when people do think about using hypnosis for clinical reasons, they're usually thinking about smoking cessation. We call it weight release, not weight loss. It's the same thing though. And stress release. And it is good for all of those things. But there's other things that it's really, really great for. Especially for those of you who have found that traditional, conventional ways of helping yourself have not worked. And I think the first thing that I want to bring up is anxiety. A lot of people are dealing with anxiety. And there's all different kinds of anxiety, generalized anxiety, panic attack type of anxiety, even obsessive compulsive disorder is a form of anxiety. And neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, is an excellent way to help you not just manage it, but get rid of it. I've helped many of my clients do this. And we do it by going to the original cause of when that anxiety first appeared. We call it the first sensitizing event, actually. And we clear all the events up to now. And it's amazing how well this can work. There might be other things that we need to do as well, but I'm here to tell you that this is one of the best ways that I know of dealing with anxiety. It's also a great way to find the reasons why you're not doing the things that you want to be doing, and you are doing things that you do not want to be doing. Because there's always a reason that goes along with the cause for our subconscious mind to develop these defense mechanisms and then continue these particular thoughts and behaviors that are causing some distress in our lives. So one of the things I've been able to help people do is to release psychosomatic pain. People with psychosomatic pain feel the pain. They definitely feel the pain. But the reason for the pain is not anything physiological in terms of something in the body being hurt that needs to overcome the pain, be healed, or maybe removed, depending on what's causing it. Rather, it has to do with emotional traumas that cause the pain. And I can tell you that I had 2 clients that were referred to me from an acupuncturist who had the same problem, in their case, headaches. And the headaches were caused by the fact that their mothers wanted to dictate when they were going to come visit their grandchildren, overrunning the boundaries of these 2 mothers. They're 2 separate cases. And I want to tell you that when they basically told their parents, you know what, our kids have schedules, and like anybody else, we need to schedule a time when you see the children, they no longer had these headaches. I had another client many, many years ago who had terrible stabbing pain in her stomach, and the best psychiatrist and medical people couldn't help her. And in her case, it was anxiety that again was based on emotional abuse. And I'd say to some degree, physical abuse that she had suffered from the age of 4. in the household in which she resided. And we were able to get rid of that and do a few other things. She was able to get rid of the pain. However, if this is your problem, you have to rule out every single other reason why you may have pain, which means your doctors have to let you know there's nothing there. I think another really important thing that we can help people figure out. In one case I had, which was kind of an interesting case years ago again, was a wife of a man who'd get up in the middle of the night to go get food. He had no memory of doing this, but he woke her up every single night. And this is a woman who worked for a living, regular hours, so it was rather problematic. So she made the appointment for me to see him. And sadly, the reason that he was doing this was based on the fact that he had lost a niece and a nephew 25 years before in a terrible fire, based on the fact that they had gone in to do some work on the gas, and one of the kids turned on a light that was a spark enough to blow up the house. True story. He was able to get to the root of the problem. He was able to talk to the kids in terms of doing basically what I would consider forgiveness inner child work, because he was really having survivor's guilt, and let it go. I had another client who had, well, she wasn't actually a client, I was on a podcast actually, and the subject was depression, and I talked about all the different reasons for depression, both physiological as well as emotional. And she also had survivor's guilt. Her brother and father had killed themselves, so she was having survivor's guilt, and we were able to help her relieve herself of that as well. 45 minutes of the podcast was dedicated to doing that with her live on air. Another thing is when people are feeling like really depressed and they're just in environments that aren't working for them. If you're living with a person who is really negative or is not supportive of you, or who you don't feel hears you, this is a problem, especially if this is your partner. So we need to understand truly what's going on there and help you learn the skills that you need in order to either heal the relationship or leave the relationship, depending on what's necessary. And your subconscious mind will let us know what's right for you. Generally make these decisions. The subconscious mind of the client makes these decisions. It knows best. So there's habits like smoking and nail biting. I had a client who I've been working with who wanted to stop his nail biting, and we were able to help him to replace it with another behavior. So that was taken care of as well. Many, many, many things. Thoughts, behaviors, and habits are all able to be worked with hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming. But then the question becomes, how do you know that you're choosing the right provider? And that's a really good question. And my suggestion is always to go on a person's website to see what material they have written about their subject matter expertise, because they should have things on there that let you know that they actually know what they're talking about. And because hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming are not licensed practices, you might get some testimonials from actual clients who can tell you the stories of their healing journey. You really do want to choose somebody who has proven that they know about the subject, that they've worked with clients with similar problems, so that you're having a person who knows what they're doing. really, truly important. Because this is another thing. Hypnotists and neuro-linguistic programmers can work on pretty much anything that has to do with shifting the way the mind works. It's the basis of their practices. However, just because they can do everything doesn't mean they ought to be doing everything. And in this case, I'm speaking to people who have really serious problems like depression or eating disorders. I'm talking more about anorexia and bulimia that can cause real health problems and cycle out of control to the person, to where the person can actually end up very dead if a person doesn't know how to work with them in a manner that is helpful to them, provides them all the supports that they need, and really does have an expertise in how to work with these people. So again, you just want to be an educated consumer, because this is about your health and your well-being, and it's the most important thing that you have, as far as I'm concerned, having had to deal with both mental health issues and physical health issues, all of which hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming have helped me to get rid of, including visualizing away a 2.2 centimeter meningioma brain tumor. It wasn't cancerous, but it caused double vision, which is how it was found. That was after proton therapy was done, which could stop the growth, but it couldn't shrink the tumor, according to the neurological radiologist who was my case manager. And a brand new hypnotist helped me get rid of what we would think of as bipolar 2, but manic depression way back in the late 1980s when I was, actually that's not true. It was actually Todd James who helped me get rid of the bipolar, what was known as manic depression, when I was working with him. And that was through timeline therapy, and he had to tell me what the negative emotions were that I needed to remove in order to take care of that, something you can't teach in a training for just anyone, because of course it's a very specialized work. And then the brand new hypnotist helped me get rid of bronchial asthma, something my general practitioner couldn't do over several years. None of the medications were working, and I wasn't willing to take medications that weren't going to help me, because medications over a long period of time become toxic to the body. If they're not useful, what's the point of using them? So there's many, many ways that we can use this work, but we have to work with people who know what they're doing and also hold you accountable. You know, one of the things that I tell my clients is that, well, not even their clients, prospective clients, we have the free consultation call. I do let them know there might be times when they really hate my guts, and it's because I'm bringing up things that they don't want to talk about, having to do homework that they really don't want to do, usually talking to people they're having a difficult time with. But I teach them how to do that. So when they go to it, they know how to use neuro-linguistic programming languaging to help them through those conversations, to find out how much time, if any, they want to spend with that person, to give the person a chance to show that they care enough to make the changes so that the problems that were happening no longer need to happen. Everybody deserves that, including, I would say, providers. Can't tell you how many people in Quora write questions regarding, well, I'm thinking about not seeing my therapist any longer because I don't like her because she does X, Y, Z. Is this an okay thing to do? And I always tell them, wouldn't you like to know if you're doing something wrong and at least have a chance to change it for the better? Make an appointment, talk honestly about what's going on, and see what your therapist is willing and able to do. If they get really defensive or they dismiss the problem, they're not the therapist for you, and it's time to move on. So these are the things that I'd really like you to understand and to work with, because there are some really important things that we can help me do really quickly and effectively. You know, when I had, I think she was 18 years old at the time, senior in high school, she had come in because she was having some difficulty playing ice hockey. And her mom, who was in session with me, I never have a problem with that. I actually like when the parents are there, if the kids are willing to have them there, because they're able to give me input, as this one did, that I wasn't expecting in the middle of her doing some processing regarding her ice hockey. She had lost 4 of her best friends in the last 3 years. And right there on the spot, I learned how to do grieving so that this young lady, and many people after that, were able to let go of the feelings of grieving and just hold that person and everything that they meant to them in their heart and soul, and know that they were with them at any time. And I taught her how to talk to the spirit of her friends if she felt like it, using hypnosis. I do it with my dad all the time. It's really great. So there you go. Lots of different things that we can do. I hope you found this helpful and thought-provoking. And as always, I thank you for spending your time with me. Until next time. Bye-bye.